Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is where we break down real estate concepts in a way that's easy to understand. And today we're diving into one of the key players in any real estate transaction, and that is the settlement company or title company. And whether you're buying or selling or investing, there's just a lot of moving parts that really need to come together for a smooth transaction. The settlement company or title company is a central role, one of the major players to ensure that all the legal and financial documents are handled properly and legally. So what do they do? And why are they so important? Let's break it down. Well, the settlement company, they really act as a type of clearinghouse for real estate transaction. It's that day after all the work is done that we come together and sign all the papers. Just think of it as just the financial hub, the point where everything comes together and all the monies are collected and dispersed. And that's really a mouthful because it can get quite complex because when a property is sold, multiple people are involved in it. Lenders, agents, buyers, seller, attorneys. Each of these people have a financial interest in that deal. And the settlement company makes sure that everybody gets paid correctly and on time. For example, settlement companies collect earnest money deposits from buyers. They receive the wires from the mortgage lenders. They pay off the seller's existing mortgage and any kind of debts associated with the property, and they distribute the real estate commissions to any agents involved. Plus, they ensure that the HOA fees and taxes are all paid correctly and dispersed via wire or check. Everything's done in a neutral and secure way, most importantly. And the release is given on any conditions that have been agreed on to be met. They also manage the financial transactions and the payments. This is one of the most important roles that they can do. They make sure that people get paid and it gets accounted for because the document after is a legal financial document, whether it's called the Alta statement, the HUD one, as it used to be, but they collect and distribute loan funds from the mortgage. They organize the seller's mortgage payoff. They pay any prorated taxes or HOA fees and any utility payments that might have a balance. And if any of these things have been paid separately, then you're going to receive a credit. And the staff of a title company, they're really worth their weight in gold when you have a good one because they have to accurately account for and pay and distribute any money that's supposed to go someplace. A title company can also give some kind of representation, whether it's officially or unofficially. They often don't act as attorneys for any single party. They really give oversight to facilitate the whole thing. They kind of give the contracts a look. They make sure that the conditions of the contractor have been met. They ensure that anything that's supposed to be disclosed or any liens or encumbrances get paid off or addressed. They facilitate title exams and title searches to make sure you get a clear title whenever you buy it. And a clear title means that there's nobody that's trying to own it besides you. It makes sure any unforeseen problems don't affect the closing and help get rid of them before the closing. The title company will write a title policy. The buyer purchases the title insurance to protect the lender and themselves for any disputes that might come up. And that title company, they often represent the insurance company. And that means that if there is any claims to the ownership after the sale, then the insurance company is going to pay for litigation or some kind of resolution to any threats or claims against your ownership. This protects the lender and the buyer. So that is a nice thing to have as peace of mind, even though the attorneys are going to do a title exam. But title insurance is a crucial part for the lender. You're not getting a loan without having title insurance that protects the lender. As I said, the major thing that title companies do is to make sure that everybody gets paid because the payment cycles are not going to coincide with the closing date. So the staff is going to have to account for any bills that are unpaid or paid, and then distribute a prorated portion fairly split between the buyer and the seller. Just one quick example, if the seller prepaid the taxes for the year, the buyer's going to need to reimburse them for that portion that the seller paid that when they lived there. It just prevents confusion after the closing. Guarding against wire fraud, secure transfer of funds. That's major, as real estate transactions have become the target of cyber crimes, cyber threats, wire fraud. The stories are pretty impressive. And they've just been forced to adapt to this situation by enacting strong security measures to protect the funds and any sensitive information. And they'll use encrypted communications to keep client data safe. They have secure wire transfer procedures to, prevent fraud. And they use a multi-factor authentication for financial transactions. They also have regular audits to detect any vulnerabilities in their system. And as I said, wire fraud is a growing industry, and title companies can even carry insurance policy to guard against cyber crimes and cyber attacks. Settlement companies, they ensure compliance with loan documents. There's a big stack of papers associated with many mortgage loans, and the title company is tasked with making sure that these disclosures forms are signed before they disperse the money. They'll review documents like the loan agreements, the deeds and mortgage contracts, any closing disclosures. And by verifying all the paperwork, verifying that it is legal and meets legal standards and financial standards, they really prevent delays and offer some amount of protection to all the parties. Title companies can also offer additional legal services like estate planning, writing wills, contract negotiation that's outside, may need additional representation for contract negotiation. They can help set up business agreements related to property investment. And these services, they can really be helpful for everybody, buyers, sellers, investors, people that need little extra guidance that is available to you, usually through a title company and their attorneys. Also, real estate transactions really involve a complex web of state laws and federal laws. If they aren't done correctly, it can result in penalties or maybe even a lawsuit. Settlement companies help guard against any problems by ensuring that the paperwork is in compliance, that the funds are properly accounted for, that the money comes in a form that is legally required, usually not cash. And they can help spot fraud, any fraudulent things going on. They typically offer peace of mind to both sellers and buyers just because they kind of have that extra layer of legal protection. So I hope it's given you some idea of how essential a title company or a settlement company plays a crucial role in any transaction. They really ensure that all funds are accounted for and distributed correctly. They verify that legal requirements are met. They protect buyers and sellers with title insurance. And they manage cybersecurity and prevent fraud. And lastly, they handle financial and legal details to ensure a smooth closing. So if you are buying or selling or even refinancing or investing, working with a reputable title company can really make the difference to ensure a seamless transaction. So I hope it's given you some ideas on what a settlement company does and their value in a real estate transaction. If you have any comments, I would encourage them. If you found the video helpful, if you were to like or subscribe, then it would help me gain a wider audience. So I appreciate your time. We will hopefully see you next time.